You're tuned into Tackle Fanatics TV, and in this episode of TFTV, you get a chance to see Taska's Chod release system.
I'm just going to talk you through a product that's been designed by Taska. It's been in the development stages about a year now. We've been testing it, trying it out, checking that everything's working fine, and it is. The system's been designed so it can be used on either naked chods, i.e. your hook link running on just mainline. It can be used on Core Zero, which is an uncoated heavy PTFE material, and it can also be used on lead core, so it suits everybody's needs. Whatever leading material you're using, this can be incorporated into your particular setup. We'll start off with the leader material. I personally prefer the Core Zero that Taska have got out. It's a PTFE product. Its suppleness, as you can see, is absolutely fantastic. Its weight is incredible. It sinks like a brick. It can be spliced as easy as lead core, so I personally now don't see any need to use lead core anymore. This is the perfect product. It can be knotted to ring swivels, etc., and it's a safe material. It's quite slick to the touch, so your chod rig is going to run easy on that, as I'll demonstrate later. To start, what you do is you put the chod bead onto your leader material. Simply use a gated needle in through the end, and that's it. The chod bead's then running on your leader material. Pull that down to one end. The next thing is just take one of the splice loops and tie that to the rig ring that's at one end of the splice loop. There's a 2 turn off blood knot. Pull that down and pull it tight. And just trim off the tag end. And then just pull the chod bead and pull the rig ring through until it fixes in the bottom of the chod bead. Now that's effectively the chod release system attached to the end of your main line or your leader material. The way we've designed this chod release system is we don't advocate that you have to lose a lead. We don't want you to go out fishing and lose 10 quid's worth of leads in one session. If it's a really weedy water, then you're going to have to lose that lead. I mean, the lost lead might be the result of getting a PB in the net. But then, should you take this chod release system to another lake where it's not as weedy and you don't want to lose that lead, we've designed the other side with 3 holes in that side. What you're actually doing is then weaving in and out of those 3 holes, and it effectively creates more resistance, so the lead's harder to pull off. What I find best with this system is to cut the swivel of the lead off. Just leave the wire that's actually formed into the lead. I'll show you why in a bit, but it does make this system perform a lot better. So to attach the lead to the lead release system, simply take your gated needle, insert the gate through either the 1 hole or the 3 holes. I'll show you through 1 hole. Just come through and come out of the end. The loop is then passed through the lead, gate back in, close the gate, and then pull that loop back through the hood and back out of the side. Now, a lot of people, when I see them tying it up, they'll pull that loop so far that the hood then sits over the eye of the lead. The best way to fish it is to leave that loop, that bit of a hinge, because what it effectively does, should the lead sit that way and plug into any bottom debris, instead of the leader material sitting proud off the bottom, it drops. Your leader material then lays flat on the lake bed, and your rig's presented perfectly. Now, if like me, you don't use a marker rod to find your spots in the lake, if you prefer to just have a cast about with the actual lead that you're going to be fishing with, then to find those spots you can do with this system. All you do is just insert a bit of twig into that loop, pull it down tight. That lead is then fixed. It can't pull off. You can then have a cast about, find your spots, clip them up on your reels, and then wind the lead back in. Transfer then the twig for a tiny little PVA nugget, pass that through the loop, again pull it down tight. That's again fixed. Now this system, we've tested it, we've had people cast it 140, 150 yards. So your lead's not going to fly off in mid-cast. It's fixed by this little foam nugget. So now that's the lead system set up, then it's just a matter of setting the other end up, i.e. your beads and your hook link. For my bead setup, Taska's obviously tungsten beads complement the Chod rig perfectly. Come on some easy to use wires. All you do is thread them off of the wire onto the hook, onto your leader material, and thread them down towards the lead setup. I like to leave the bottom one about 6-8 inches away from the lead setup. That's just to keep your Chod rig out of the way of the lead. Then on goes the Chod rig itself. That just obviously comes down to the bottom bead. And then lastly, another tungsten bead. You can see how easy these tungsten beads slide on this Core Zero material. Right, just to demonstrate the actual function of this Chod release system. Obviously once this has been in the water, this PVA nugget is going to dissolve. What that leaves you with is that. Just the loop coming out of the hood. Now, should that lead get weeded up, as you can see, a bit of tension. That lead pulls free. You're then left with just the hood and the spliced loop on the end of the main line or your leader material. As I said before, that spliced loop comes spliced to a rig ring, which then that acts as the buffer for the Chod rig and the hooked fish. So obviously the fish is hooked, the lead's been released, the fish is hooked here, so everything slides down to the bead, and that's it. You're left to play the fish without no lead bouncing around under its chin. There's no way that hook pulling free.
You've been tuned in to Tackle Fanatics TV. Tackle Fanatics offer a huge range of Taska products at the best prices around. We also have a massive selection of bait and tackle from all the leading manufacturers. To view our range, log on to www.tacklefanatic.co.uk. Tight lines and wet nets from everybody at TFTV.